Hi everyone, I'm Miss Haley and I'm a naturalist with the Harris County Precinct One Environmental Education Program. My colleague Miss Christina is also here with us today, but you'll see her later in the video. In our presentation, we will be learning about some of the smallest animals you can find around your home or neighborhood and learn about some of the different techniques you can use to collect and observe them in your own backyard. So let's get started. No matter where you live, whether in the country, in a suburban neighborhood, or in the heart of a big city, just about everyone encounters wildlife at some point. The type of wildlife you most likely encounter the most are our smallest residents, insects and spiders. Did you know that we share a planet with an estimated 1 million different kinds of insects and about 100,000 different kinds of spiders? That's a lot of creepy crawlies. So what makes these animals unique? Well, both insects and spiders belong to a group of animals called arthropods. This means that they have certain characteristics you can look for. All arthropods are invertebrates, which means that they do not have a backbone or internal skeleton like you and me. Instead, they have an exoskeleton, which is a hard shell or case that covers their body. Being an arthropod, insects and spiders have jointed legs, which means their legs will bend at one or more joints like yours and mine. Arthropods also have segmented bodies. This means that their bodies are separated into different sections. Even though insects and spiders are both arthropods, it's quite easy to differentiate between the two if you know what to look for. So let's look at each one. Insects have 3 body parts, a head, a thorax, and an abdomen, while spiders only have 2, a cephalothorax and an abdomen. Insects have 6 legs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, while spiders have 8 legs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The 2 in front are called pedipalps, and they're used more like arms to hold their food. All insects have antennae that help them feel around and smell their surroundings, whereas spiders do not. Insects like wasps, bees can be venomous, but just about all spiders are venomous. While this venom can be used for protection, its main use for spiders is for killing and eating their prey, and without it they would starve. And finally, some insects, but not all, can have wings in order to fly from place to place. There are no winged spiders in the world, thank goodness. Now, insects can also come in many different forms depending on what life stage they're in. Some insects when born look nothing like their parents, while others simply look like tiny copies. So being able to identify an insect or spider by all stages of its life is very important when trying to learn about all the fun little creepy crawlies we share our space with. So now that you know what kinds of characteristics both insects and spiders have, Miss Christina is going to talk you through a couple of techniques on how you can try to catch some of your very own in order to observe them more closely.
Thanks, Miss Haley. All right, guys, so we're going to talk about a couple of different techniques you can use when out collecting insects. But you want to make sure that you have the right tools and equipment to do the job. So first and foremost, you're going to want to make sure you are dressed for the occasion. If it's a nice, hot, sunny day like it is today, you're going to want to make sure you've got sunscreen on, maybe a hat and some sunglasses. I always like to wear long pants, especially if I'm going to be venturing off into the tall grass, just to protect my legs from any thorns or just scratchy plants. I also always make sure that I have the proper footwear on. Now, some other tools you're going to want to make sure you have is your, of course, collection tool and some type of jar or container to put the insects or spiders in where you can observe them safely. If you happen to have some field guides lying around, those are always a bonus as well because those will help you identify the things that you're catching. All right, guys, so the first technique we're going to learn how to do is called sweep netting, and you're going to use this tool here. It's called a sweep net, and it's literally a net. You're just going to sweep through the tall grass like what I have behind me. So to do this, you're going to grab your sweep net with 2 hands and you're going to sweep it back and forth through the grass with the hoop facing perpendicular to the ground, okay? And every time you go back and forth, you're going to turn your net and go back the other direction and turn your net and come back the other direction, back and forth, making about a figure 8 in the air. You're going to want to make sure you're not going too slow like me. I'm doing slow motion, but you're going to want to go at a nice steady pace and you're going to want to move while you do it. Make sure you're not sweep netting too hard, otherwise you might destroy the plants. And when you are done, you're going to bring your collection in to see what you caught. Now be very cautious looking in your net. You could have caught some flying insects like bees or wasps. Allow them to fly out safely. But you can observe some of the other critters that you caught. Then you take your insects and you take your containers and you safely transfer them into those jars or those containers that you brought. All right guys, so the second technique we're going to talk about is called the beat sheet. And it has a very literal name, just like the sweep net did. It is a bed sheet that you lay on the ground around the base of a plant, and you use a stick or your hand in order to hit the plant to knock the insects off and onto the sheet. So I have a dowel, and I'm going to reach up into this plant, and I'm going to hit the plant to try to knock any insects off of it. You can also hit it higher up to see what you can knock off as well. All right, everybody, we hope you had fun learning about insects and spiders with us today, as well as learning a couple of techniques in which you can collect them in your own backyards and neighborhoods. If you liked today's video, you can hit the like button below, or you can subscribe to our channel to be notified of more of our naturalist videos. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at christina.hartman@cp1.hctx.net, or you can reach out to Ms. Haley at haley.martinez@cp1.hctx.net. Until then, see you next time.